Hi, friends. My name is Pastor Vance Rains. I'm the lead pastor at First United Methodist Church of Orlando, and this is a midweek devotion for Wednesday, August 25th, 2021. Thank you for joining me. You may know that I'm a bit of a collector. I collect a number of things, and I especially like things I can collect for free. So pretty frequently, I'm looking on Facebook Market and on Craigslist for free stuff. There's sections that just says free, and I found quite a bit of good free stuff. Well, Saturday, I noticed that there were some handmade cabinets available that I thought would be great to help with my bonsai collection. I have a number of tools and bonsai pots and things that I'm not currently using, that it would be a place I could store them and protect them, and so it looked great. Somebody had made these by hand. So I inquired. Sometimes you can't get to things because people have already gotten it before you've seen it. So I sent an inquiry. I'm interested. Can I come get them? I can come right now. Didn't hear anything. Well, a few hours later, I did. I heard, and he said, "Yep, they're available. You can come get them today, but call me." So he gave me his phone number. I called. Well, it turns out these cabinets were made by the man's grandfather, I think is what he said. They're over 50 years old. They're handmade from just a variety of really kind of old, heavy wooden crates. They have drawers in them, and he let me know. He said, "Well, my grandfather was a rock collector. He was a bit of a hobbyist geologist, and so the drawers are all full of rocks, and we're going to need to empty those." But then he stopped and he said, "Unless you want the rocks." And so I explained to him. I said, "Well, I'm going to use this to hold like bonsai pots and stuff, and sometimes I do. I put rocks in." With my bonsai just to add to the decoration. And I said, "Well, if you're getting rid of the rocks, I'll take the rocks and I can use them, in that way." Okay. So I went over to the guy's house, and these cabinets were much bigger than I expected, and the quantity of rocks in the drawers was way more than I expected, but I was glad to get them. So I loaded up the cabinets in my truck. I put all the drawers with all the rocks in. I didn't really study it. I was like, I'll just take it home. Well, when I got home, what I discovered is that the drawers were full of fossils. I'm going to try to show you one. Like you can see, this is a fossil of an old fern, and this one, a fossil of an old leaf. You can see it right there. Here's another one that's a fossil of maybe a leaf or a fern. I'm not sure what that is. Here's another one. You can still see the discoloration. Well, I'm going to be honest, and by the way, there's hundreds of these things, hundreds, plus a bunch of other different kind of interesting rocks. Well, I'm not a rock collector. I'm not a geologist. I never took geology. I don't know anything about these things. All of a sudden, I have a fossil collection, a large fossil collection at my house, and that's been kind of interesting in the last several days. I've been cleaning up some of them. I've been researching it a little bit, learning. I learned, and I'm no expert, maybe you'll know something, maybe you'll want to correct me, but these fossils probably came into existence they're about 10,000 years old, is what I've been reading. And they came into existence by a leaf falling in the mud, or a piece of fern falling in the mud, and then sediment forming on top of it, and then later when it dried and the earth hardened, that formed into rock, and in these rocks are these impressions of these leaves and ferns. Long since the organic matter has just completely gone away, so you just have the shapes of these leaves and ferns. That's what's left. 10,000 years old. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. I don't know for sure that that's the age, but that's what I looked up. So here's just kind of an interesting thing. I just have been reflecting on this treasure trove I have of fossils now that I don't need. Just 4 reflections that I've had. One, all of a sudden I'm the beneficiary of this man's passion. I have no passion about fossils or rocks, but this man obviously did. He spent time collecting them. He gathered them. He cared enough about sorting them and storing them and protecting them. And now they're mine. I'm the beneficiary of this free gift. And it just made me wonder, like, how many other ways is that true? in how many other ways am I the beneficiary of gifts that I've been given that I wasn't necessarily looking for, I didn't necessarily desire, but they've been given to me. I've been blessed by them. In fact, it sounds a lot like grace. I didn't ask for it, I don't deserve it, but I got it. Also, this is kind of the second thing I've been thinking about, is I feel like now that I have this collection in my hands, I've got to treat it with respect. This man worked hard. He valued these things, and they have worth. I mean, they're significant. They're thousands of years old, perhaps. Also have petrified wood and a number of other things, like really interesting. I need to treat it with respect. I can't just throw it in a bonsai pot with a tree as decoration. I feel like I need to do something with them that honors this man's passion, that I don't even know his name, his passion, but also what they are. They have value. I need to treat with respect what I've received, which is another life lesson. Another life lesson is just, before Saturday, I hadn't thought about fossils, maybe ever. I've heard of them. I know what they are. I could point, if I saw one, I could tell you that's a fossil. Never really thought much about fossils before. Well, I've been thinking about fossils ever since last Saturday. So it's expanded my mind. Sometimes when you introduce a new thing into somebody's life, it expands their mind. When's the last time something expanded your mind? And then here's the last one, and this is probably the most kind of out there thought but here it is. So if it's true, they're 10,000 years old, right? 10,000 years ago, a piece of fern, fell into the mud and left this impression, right? And 10,000 years later, I'm here holding it, making a video, right? It's long gone, right? It's long gone, but its impression remains. So I've been thinking, after I'm gone, after I'm long gone, when nobody remembers Vance Rains anymore, when nobody's talking about anything I've done, when nobody's repeating anything I've said, when any trace of me is no longer around, will there be any impressions? Will my fingerprints remain anywhere? I don't mean literally. Where are the places I'm living my life that I'm leaving my mark? I've heard it said that when we near the end of our life, that one of the common questions people ask are, what's my legacy? What difference did my life make in this world? And so I've been thinking about that question. What impression am I leaving behind? I know those are just random thoughts today, but this is the kind of stuff that's been on my mind lately. And by the way, I just think that there's a spiritual lesson to be learned in everything. For me this week, it's a pile of rocks that ended up in my possession that turned out to be pretty special rocks, at least in my eyes, and I think the eyes of the man who collected them. But everything is spiritual. Everything is spiritual. There's a spiritual lesson to be learned everywhere. So today, my spiritual lesson has been in this collection of rocks. Very random, I know, but I wonder about you. Wonder what's happening in your life today that God's trying to teach you something. Well, that's all I have for today, friends. I hope you're having a blessed week, and we will see you soon.